So today's story time video is one where I got played. Basically, I'm gonna be telling you guys about the story of me and this guy that I met through the Uber app. Yes, let's just take a minute to really just digest that. So if you are not familiar with Uber, it is basically a car service. You can just basically say wherever you are, you see all the cars around you, and it says, if I were to order one right now, it says 3 minutes to pick up. So every single time you order an Uber car, it's a different driver. I mean, most of the time. I've had a few run-ins with the same drivers, but there's so many Uber cars that you rarely get the same driver. Okay, so last week I called an Uber to get my nails done, and honestly, so calling Ubers are like fun for me sometimes because like I've flirted with Ubers in the past, but it's never really gone anywhere. And you know, sometimes you get like old foreign men and sometimes you get like young cute guys, and this time was a young cute guy. So I hop in the back and I'm like, oh my god, this guy's really cute, like so my type, whatever, and I'm just like kind of gagging inside. But I'm never like one to start the conversation. I mean, do you guys do that? I never do that. So we start talking, you know, simple stuff as I do with a lot of my Ubers about the weather, you know, some sports teams that I have no idea about, but I pretend I do. And then before we know, we're at my nail appointment. So I'm about to get out of the car and then he starts acting really weird. Like he starts like fidgeting and he starts like turning around, looking at me, and I was like, oh my god, this is getting really awkward. He starts going, I've never done this before, or just like saying stuff like that, and I knew where it was going, so I was like, oh girl, voice memo.
So like,
is the meter still running? Yeah, because we're like here.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, how can we stay in touch?
Do you want my number?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Wow, this is the first time that I've done this.
Oh, really? Are you lying? Do you do this to all girls in the back of your car?
No, you can't.
You don't?
You can't.
But you still are.
Well, now I am, but I don't know.
Okay, I have a nail appointment though, so let me give you my number and then I'm gonna have to go.
All right, go.
323. That was basically the first run-in with this guy, whose name was Fred, by the way, Frederick, but I called him Fred. I am really weary giving out my number because, you know, there's freaks and creeps out there, and I really recommend not giving out your number, but I did trust him, and you know, he was with the Uber app, and I thought that he could get in more trouble than I could get in because it was like his job on the line, so I was like, if anything, I'll block him. So yeah, I'm getting my pedicure, and I had already got my nails done, so I was like, texting him, right, and he was saying, oh, do you need to go anywhere else? And I was like, yeah, I need to go get a spray tan after this. So he was like, oh yeah, I'll take you free of charge. I was like, oh my god, connections with the Uber society, hey. But not really, it was like UberX. I mean, I really did think that this guy was cute, so I was like, yeah, I do want to like kind of pursue this and like see where he, I mean, I want to actually talk to him because the first ride we were like not talking, so I was like, I'm ready for Uber ride round 2. So he comes to pick me up, and this time he has like so much more swag. The car smells like cologne. Before he wasn't really ready, and now he was like full ready. He apologized. He said, I'm sorry. I couldn't really get my words together or whatever. He kept talking about how I smell. Boys love YSL, I swear. We continued talking, and I believe we were talking about his career. He was in like computers or something, and this is like a big buff guy. I didn't even describe what he looks like. He was like really tan, like Italian, really buff, really chiseled face, gorgeous green eyes, and I was like obsessed. But he told me that he worked in computers, and he said that he didn't really like it, and I was just thinking, I mean, I don't want to like stereotype obviously, but I was just thinking like, so you go to the computer but then you heavy lift at the gym at night? Like, I don't get it. Usually people that are in computers are not like juice heads. And I'm not saying that they can't be, but I just, for his personality and his type, I was like, that's really weird. That was like clue 1. I was like, okay, maybe he's lying to me. And then out of nowhere, he basically tells me that he has a girlfriend.
So yeah, but I don't pick up girls.
Good. That's good.
Never.
Or else you get fired from this job too.
Well, yeah, plus.
Plus what?
I got a girlfriend.
You do? Oh my god, I feel weird now.
No, don't feel weird. Why we're friends?
Totally,
You feel weird. Why do you feel weird?
Because I didn't know that before.
Well, let me tell you this.
I was trying to play it cool, but I was just like, what is this guy doing? Like, he was like spitting game, and then all of a sudden he tells me that he has a girlfriend, so what, he wants me to be like this side bitch? I don't play that way. And especially if you're part of the Uber squad. I was at my favorite spray tan place, by the way, Spray La Vie on Sunset. So good, Sunset and San Vicente. I remember getting sprayed that day, like thinking like, oh my god, I really did kind of like, you know when something is taken away from you, you want it even more? So I was thinking, am I really gonna like still talk to this guy? Because obviously he's down when he has a girlfriend. Like, I don't know, I kind of just felt like being a little bit bad. And I remember getting sprayed, kind of contemplating, do I talk to this guy? Should I just tell him to go away and I'll get another Uber driver? Because, you know, he has a girlfriend. I wouldn't want my boyfriend to do that, let alone, I wouldn't want any girls on my boyfriend if I had one. So I just was kind of contemplating it, and I remember being in the booth while the machine was counting down 3, 2, 1, Gigi, we're gonna spray. I decided, you know, since, to be in all honesty, I really don't have anybody that I'm talking to and I like right now. So I was kind of thinking, you know, in my crazy estrogen state, that maybe I could be the girl for this guy, and maybe his girlfriend wasn't the right one. I mean, if he's out looking for other girls, maybe she's not satisfying him to his needs, emotionally, whatever. So I just kind of thought, you know what, low-key, I'm going to keep talking to this guy. I'm not going to rule that out. At least he told me that. I mean, it was the wrong decision. Let me just tell you that right now. But I'm just going to be honest with you. That's what I thought. So I was like, you know what, I can change him. So I get back out of my spray tan, back in his car, and we just continue talking. And he really was like charming me. And I really did think that he was like cute. And I kind of got like butterflies in my stomach for him as well. Just because I'm like a flirt like that. Like, I don't know. Anyways, so later that night, I was with my friend and we were just chilling in bed. And I was showing her pictures of my friend just to give her a visual of the guy that I had met that day. So I'm going through pictures. I'm like, oh my god, girl, look how cute this guy is. This is the guy that I met in Uber. How crazy. He drives an Uber. He's so hot. And she was gagging and she was like, wait, but he does look familiar. So she's acting really sketchy and she's just on her phone, and I said, can you please tell me where you know this guy from? I'm setting up a date right now with this guy. I would like to know more dish about him if you know. So she goes, she's just being really sketchy, whatever. Like 30 minutes later, she's like, aha, looks on her phone and she's like, I knew I had seen him before. Me and him were matched on Tinder. So I run over to her, jump on the bed, and I'm like, oh my god, show me. She's like, but you're gonna gag. His name is not Frederick on Tinder. She shows me his profile and it's under the name Muhammad. This is definitely the guy. It's his age. It says that he used to work in computers. Like, this is the guy. And what I thought was a lie before about him working at computers is nothing in comparison to his fucking lie about his name. So I was like, okay, this is like so messed up. So in that moment, you know what, I decided I'm not gonna start seeing this guy. I'm gonna go on a date with him, but just to fuck with him. So literally last night we go on a date and I found out pretty much everything. So basically I go to dinner with him and I just acted like nothing happened. He picked me up. We went to Hakkasan Beverly Hills, which is a gorgeous restaurant. And you know, I was just thinking if I can get a free meal out of this, usually I don't think like that, but I was just like, you know what, clearly I do not like this guy. He has some kind of web of lies going on that I don't want to be a part of, but I will go and just get the full story because I am curious. So we get to the restaurant and he's being a gentleman, pulling out my chair, everything. It's like full date. And I was like, oh my god, if I didn't know that he had like a fake name and all this, I would have been so into this. So I was just thinking, keep your head in the game, Gigi. No alcohol, no having fun, just business. You're basically a CIA agent at this moment and you need to figure out what this guy's motives are and save the entire female race of LA from him. So we start talking, whatever, and he basically comes to me first and says, after our first run-in, I did some research on you, I looked you up on Google, and I found out some stuff about your past. And instantly, if you're in my shoes and you hear that, I was like, gagging. So I was like, oh my god, he hit me with a fucking bomb first. Like, this is not how this was supposed to go. First of all, I'm thinking this is none of this guy's business. Like, for real, Googling me and coming to me like that? No ma'am. So anyways, I brushed that off. I was like, oh my god, thank you, Frederick. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for Googling me and then coming to me and making it seem like it was my problem. Little does he know I'm a CIA agent, and that is the last thing on my fucking mind. Once he says that, I'm like, okay, you know what? He just set the field for World War III. I'm gonna let down my bombshell, honey. So casually, I just brought out my phone, acted like I had just gotten a text message, and I was like, so Muhammad, Frederick, when I say his face dropped, he was like happy, whatever, and then went from like a, and after that I just stared at him. Oops, yeah, sorry, I know your real name or your fake name, whichever. You know, baby, that's my work name, Frederick. I should have told you from the beginning my name was Muhammad. Basically, he was saying that Frederick was his Uber driver name and that he didn't want any of his girlfriend's friends running into a Muhammad on Uber and telling his girlfriend that he had an Uber account, which is like, I guess, the end of the world if you drive an Uber, but it's like not. Meanwhile, all of this was before we had even eaten. So after I found out his two aliases, he basically kept insisting on, please don't tell my girlfriend, please don't tell any of her friends, please, 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 please don't tell her. And I kept saying to him, I don't know your girlfriend, I don't know any of her friends. Then he tells me, yes you do. So I was like instantly going down the line, who of my friends has a boyfriend named Muhammad? and I couldn't think of any. He tells me who it is, and I am literally dying. This guy totally just ratted himself out. I don't even talk to this girl anymore. She's one of my oldest friends in this town, and I just instantly felt so bad for her. You know, we don't really talk anymore, but I still would consider her a friend. This guy honestly was such a pig. I get up from dinner, I leave, we don't even order food yet. I basically just tell him I have to go, and I'm completely done with this whole entire situation. I promise him that I'm not gonna tell the girl. So I was in my Uber, obviously, that night on my way home, and I was just thinking, do I do what's right and tell this girl that her boyfriend is a pig, or do I just act like none of this happened, because I was kind of meddling too. So when I got home last night, I called the girl and I basically told her everything, and I basically just said, you know what, I didn't know that he was your boyfriend. I had no idea. I had never seen pictures of you guys. The only thing he told me was he had a girlfriend, and if I had known that it was one of my friends' boyfriends, then I wouldn't have done that, but it's still wrong and it's still horrible. And she basically told me that this was the straw that broke the camel's back, that this was the last straw. She knew something was going on. So I definitely learned my lesson. In all honesty, don't try to get some instant gratification from a boy just because you're feeling lonely. And I feel much better after letting her know. I know that I am not the first girl that he's taken out on a date or talked to graphically on text or the phone, whatever, because he was very forward with me. But she called me this morning, and I basically told her I kind of want to do a video about this whole thing just because it's crazy, and I know that people really like when I tell crazy stories like this. And she's like, honestly, do it. Say his last name, put pictures of him. And I was like, no girl, I'm not going to do all that. So yes, I have her permission to talk about this before any of you guys say, why did you put her and her boyfriend's relationship on blast? But oh, girl, it was a lot. So yeah, all in all, he got what was coming to him, I got what was coming to me, and she got what was coming to her. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to see what you guys say in the comments, and until I see you guys next time, stay gorgeous.